You just read slightly less than 1,000 words about my dream. And it's a chronology and an explanation of what happened to me in my last 2 visits to Myanmar, which used to be called Burma. And the impact emotionally it has had upon my life. It has changed me. And what you read were, as I said, slightly less than 1,000 words. But I'm serious about it. And my fear is that words, which are basically 2-dimensional, don't carry the weight that I feel about this. And therefore this video is an attempt on my part to explain to you what happened to me on my first trip and what happened to me on my second trip. And I don't want anybody to simply, dismiss this as, something that, Campbell enjoyed and just leave it at that. It is critically important to me personally that I realize my dream. One of my mentors in my life, the most important mentor in my life, was Bobby Kennedy, who paraphrased George Bernard Shaw by saying, "Some men see things as they are and say why. I dream dreams that never were and say why not." This dream is not a pipe dream. When I came back from Myanmar the second time, during winter break from teaching, I had a routine semi-annual checkup with Dr. Marchand, my cardiologist. I take a little white pill every day and I'm fine. But I come in and have him check me. And he did all the tests, said, "Fine, Campbell, you're fine, you can get out of here unless you have any questions." And then I said to Dr. Marchand, "I do have. I want you to explain to me why I am so wound up, why I am so driven, why I am so wired." And once he knew that I was serious about that, he got this close to me, and our eyes locked, and he said, "You have seen the light." And once Dr. Marchand realized that I'd gotten his message, essentially he was saying, "Get out of here and now go figure it out. It changed you. You are a different person now because of that first trip." 4 years later, I returned. And if I had seen the light 4 years ago, I was blinded by the light in this recent trip. I have a family over there. 2 parents and 3 of my grandchildren. I love them dearly, and I care for them. one of the issues with Myanmar is that it's a developing country. And it doesn't have a lot of the things, most of the things, that we Americans take for granted. But they want to learn. And so what I want to do is to help them learn. And the only way that I know, and the best way I know, is to give them access to laptops. My 3 granddaughters attend 2 different schools. There are a total of about 1,250 students between those 2 schools. And so what I need to do is to get about 1,250 laptops for them. But to use a laptop, other than for storing Word documents, the only way that you really use laptops for a school in a teaching situation is to be able to access the internet. But the broadband issues in Myanmar are slightly emerging, just like the nation is. And they need better internet access so that they can utilize the laptops that they don't have yet, but will have. And when you add up the cost that I need to come up with to pay for better internet access and 1,250 laptops, we're talking about $500,000. I love and care for my family in Tangier. You cannot imagine the impact that the parents and their 3 girls have had upon me. But there's also my extended family there, the children that they go to school with. Laptops are not a common entity in Myanmar. Very, very few of those children have ever used a laptop, let alone have one. And therefore, the most important thing that I could give my extended family in those 2 schools are laptops for each of the students to use while they're in school and improve the internet access and the speed. And I know that you're sitting back there and saying, "Hey, Campbell, you're a dreamer, aren't you?" I am a dreamer. And it was Bobby Kennedy that made me a dreamer. However, the only way that my dream will be realized is with your help. It's as simple as that. I'm asking you to do one of 3 things, and preferably all 3. I need $500,000 for the laptops, for the internet. And if you happen to have some money laying around that's not being fully utilized, producing money for laptops and the internet improvement so that they can use the internet with their laptops is the best educational tool that you and I could ever give to them, those 1,250 students. So I need your contribution. The second thing I need you to do is to promise me that you will forward this link to We Are Family to 10 of your friends and ask them to send this link to 10 of theirs. You know, ad infinitum. And so I'm asking you for money. I'm asking you for 10 minutes of sending emails. But probably of equal importance to the money and the emails is that I'm asking you, along with the money and the sending of the emails, to come back with me, back to Memore, after I get the $500,000. If going to Memore has changed who I am, it is going to change you also. I have a phrase that I invented. It's called "in giving that we get." It is in giving that we get. That does sound like an oxymoron. That we give something and we get it. We get something in return. It is probably the greatest truth that I realized on either one of my trips to Myanmar. You give me money enough for one laptop, 2 laptops, 100 laptops, whatever. And what you give me, you will get back in return tenfold. I am serious. I'm serious about the money, and I'm serious about the email. But I'm equally serious about you coming back with me and you seeing firsthand those students receiving their laptops. All you have to do is scroll through my webpage and go search and just write down Myanmar, Burma. Hundreds of articles. I tell all my, I'm still teaching. I'm semi-retired, but I'm a professor. I'm still teaching online. And I tell all my students in every class I've taught for the last 20 years, if you want to get educated, if you want to understand the world, it's not going to be in books. You can understand facts, but you won't understand the world until you go out into the world, until you travel. I told you the story about Dr. Marchand and his eyes linking with mine. And he didn't say a thing until he knew that I was concentrating on his eyes. And then he said, "You have seen the light." And that is why I'm asking you to look at my eyes as I did with Dr. Marchand's. And I'm going to tell you, you will see the light. By doing 3 simple things. Giving me any amount of money for the laptops and the internet improvement. Emailing your friends and asking them to email friends. And then promising me that you'll come back with me once I raise the funds. It changed me. I'm a different person than I was. And I'm happy about the person I am. And that can happen to you also. Remember, it is in giving that we get. Think about that. And thank you. And more importantly, 1,250 students will thank you. Take care.